Hey everyone, this is Bo Jennings with Live Urban Fort Worth, and I'm here with Brian Walsh. This is the founder and owner of the Art of Living off Lancaster here in Fort Worth. This is a really amazing studio that this guy has built. He's been a friend of mine for a long time, and I'm now just coming down for the first time to check it out, and I'm kind of killing myself that I've waited so long. So, Brian, tell me, what are you doing down here with the Art of Living?
Well, my wife and I came up with this concept 4 years ago. It'll be March the 1st of 2019. We bought this building. And the idea came from being involved with Project Success, which is the Fort Worth Police Department initiative to do art therapy. I was involved with them for about 5 years, saw the positive impact that it had on these kids. And this building came for sale, and I laid in bed for a month, and I wrestled with God because I'd never done anything like this before. And my wife said, "We've never done that. We don't know what we're doing." I said, "That's why we're going to do it." I said, because that's what life's about, and that's to learn and to move forward. And we wanted to do something special for these children that are going through this journey in their life. These are kids that are currently living in the Presbyterian Family Shelter. The start of homelessness in this sector down here, you have to start off at the Salvation Army to get on the boardwalk of Monopoly here. And then when they have an open room available at the Union Gospel Mission or the Presbyterian Mission, you move to that new setting. From there, it might take 90 days to a year or a year and a half before you finally get housing. So while these children are in the shelter, we came up with this concept of giving them this space to lose themselves in this while they're going through such a tough time living in the shelter.
That's really cool to hear. So, in a moment, after I ask Brian a few questions, I'm going to show you guys some video of this facility that he's built. It's amazing. I just walked in the door. I was greeted by the director at the very front, and then it's opened up into this large room where kids can sit, play, commune with one another, build relationships with one another, get to know each other. And then the back half of the building has a full commercial kitchen. I just had breakfast with these kids. So it's really cool because the kitchen that he has, and you'll see here shortly, is an absolute state-of-the-art commercial kitchen. And these kids are learning to do what in it?
So I grew up in the kitchen with my mom showing me how to cook, but I really didn't understand the impact that it had. I felt the impact before I started this because I've always enjoyed cooking, but having these children in here and allowing them to cook their own breakfast and watch them have joy and happiness inside the kitchen, and understanding that this is a place of love and commune. And they're every Saturday morning they cook the breakfast and then they help serve it, and they'll do some interaction with it. So yes, there's some vocational training in there, but there's more life skills in there. But also it's like the community that we have to watch these kids stand around that island with all these plastic knives, and they're cutting fruit, they're peeling oranges, they're whipping up scrambled eggs, they're putting the bacon, the sausage on the trays to go in the oven. But to watch them cook the hash browns on the griddle, or watch them cook the eggs on the griddle, it speaks to your heart, because I did this with my children, and I have this opportunity to do it again with these children and impart that for the rest of their life.
That is so cool, man. Obviously, a lot of love in this place. You told me about what's on the menu today for lunch, and I was kind of blown away because obviously this is a place where these kids are learning the arts. The place is called the Art of Living, and the culinary arts is one of them. So what's on the menu for lunch?
Well, this afternoon we're going to celebrate Mardi Gras. So we have crawfish and shrimp etouffee. We have a Creole dip with fresh vegetables. We have homemade bread pudding. So we're constantly looking for different ideas to put in front of these children to open their awareness to the different types of food that are available for them. Unfortunately, for the majority of these kids and the ones that live in these impoverished zip codes, what they're used to is either the fast food or a convenience store. There's not access to the grocery store for a lot of these people. So the quality of what they're intaking is not, there's not awareness in it. They just, so here, if it's not good enough for my children, it's not good enough for these kids. So everything here is sourced to be the best we can get our hands on, but the culinary experience, we want them, we bring all types of ethnicities of foods in here. Trust me, it's so fun to have a child go, ooh, I don't like that. And I'll say, so you've had it before? And they go, no. I can tell by looking at it that I don't like it. And I say, no, let's start this over. Let's try this and decide whether we like it or not. Then you can tell me that you don't care for something. But here's the cutest thing, is when somebody will say, no, I don't really care for it. And my friend Bo might be one of those children there, and he puts it in his mouth and he goes, man, that's good. All of a sudden that child goes, you know, you're right, that is good. So there's also something that I do with the kids. I get them to eat chocolate covered insects. And you go, oh, who would want to do that? Well, this is how it works. So I'll get in front of the children and I'll say, here, today we're going to eat chocolate covered insects. And they all go, ooh. And I go, hang on a second. Do you know what a chocolate covered grasshopper tastes like? And they go, well, no, I know that it's not going to taste good. I said, no, you don't know that. And then I'll have somebody standing next to me like Bo, and I'll say, don't you judge this food any differently than you would Bo. So don't judge him without getting to know him first, because inside Bo is this beautiful, vibrant person, but don't judge them before you know what you're talking about. And then I put the chocolate insect in my mouth, and it never fails. There's always a kid over here who goes, I want one. And the next thing you know, 2 of the 3 kids all want a chocolate covered insect. And all of a sudden it's changed their perspective that it was good, and I tried that, and what else can I try? And they'll never forget when they ate a chocolate covered insect.
What a cool life lesson to get somebody to try something new. And it's really cool that your menu covers so much diversity, and it's opening their minds and their palates up to new experiences.
Yes.
So I've got a couple more questions for you. One is, just so our viewers that are watching know, what are the age ranges that you serve here?
Well, I wish I could serve all the children's needs that are in the family shelter. The family shelter consists of 40 dorm rooms that share a bathroom. So they're adjoining this bathroom, and they'll have a mother and 1 to 5 kids. They're allowed to have up to 5 kids in a room. Sometimes they make exceptions. I've had a family that was in there that had 9 kids, and they had nowhere else to go, so they modified their model and allowed them to use 2 rooms. But the age range at the shelter can be anywhere from 5 days old of a child up to 17. They do make a caveat. If they come to them at the age of 18, they're allowed to stay there if they're in school. Unfortunately, once you turn 18 years old as a young man or young woman, then you have to go to the men's or women's shelter. And that's really hard on my heart to understand, that all of a sudden they're thrust into this adult environment, because in there are people anywhere from 18 to 80 years old that have been on the homeless side for a long time. So the kids that are in our program, we take them from 8 to 17 years old, and sometimes at 18 years old. So like I said, I wish I could take the younger ones, but we've tried that before, and it can be a little bit more difficult because of the maturity level. So.
Okay, interesting. Thank you for serving such a broad range. And lastly, as I walk through, and I'm about to show you guys some footage of the entire facility, but we're standing in one of his little art rooms, and I'm looking at a professional kiln. Everything here is to serve these kids on the highest level, and that's really cool. And I noticed outside there's a concrete covered area with huge fans for the summertime to keep them cool, and where they can go outside and create art projects there. But just kind of quickly, what are some of the art programs that you offer?
Well, the room we're in right now is our supply room. I call it the candy store, and Bo will give you a little bit more footage, but it'll speak for itself. We're open to different types of medium here. We do graphite charcoal drawings, we do acrylics, we do pottery. When you mentioned outside, we spin pottery outside, and it is messy. And then there's this guy that always starts this, he'll take some of the wet clay and walk up and put it on the kid's face, and I don't know who would do such a thing, but it creates this joyful environment. And the next thing you know, the other kids want to have the war paint on their face too. And next thing you know, we've got it all over us. I can't share with you how joyful that is to watch a child put their hands in wet clay and go, "What do I do, Mr. B?" And I go, "Do you." I said, "Whatever you do, it's not wrong." I said, "But feel it spinning in your hands and lose yourself in it." I said, and we show them the basic techniques to start making something, but to watch their faces, they create something, and then sometimes it falls apart. And I go, and they look at me like, I go, "It's okay." I said, "Start over." I said, "That's what life's all about." I said, "Sometimes we fall down, but we have to get up." So, but we spin pottery outside because somehow or another it gets real messy. But we, like today, we're melting crayons, so we'll glue all these crayons on a canvas piece, and we're going to use hair dryers, and they're going to melt down, and then they'll enhance it with whatever they want to bring it to another level, and then they're going to make Mardi Gras masks. But we're always open for different types of art to help these kids understand it's like life. There's so many different avenues that you can take, and some speak more to them than others do. So we're not closed in on that. We're always looking for, any types of art medium that we can bring to the kids. So.
That's really cool. So not only creating art, but obviously creating a lot of joy as well. So Brian, thank you so much for this interview. Thank you for serving the community here in Fort Worth, and thank you for doing it in such a creative way where you're bringing the arts to kids. When I was a kid, I absolutely loved art, and if I could have stepped into a place like this as a child, it even makes me feel childlike being here. So thank you for your service to the community. I'm gonna go around and take some film for you guys to see the facility he has, and this place is gonna speak for itself. But if you are looking for a organization to get involved in, you can find the Art of Living online. You can volunteer if that's where your heart is, or even if you have a monetary donation that you would like to support this place with. I know these kids would absolutely be appreciative of it. I saw nothing but smiles out there, and like I said, this video is about to speak for itself. So thank you very much, Brian. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Hey, buddy.